Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. I don't always tell you what you want to hear, but I tell you what you need to hear to make an informed decision. Well, guys, you need to hear this because this is a wealth of information that pertains to all the ISO 222 compliant tokens and a couple of more. But this is information that is going to give you the big picture of the connection between Cypherium, the US government, the Wall Street, and the big banks, and China. Guys, this is getting to be fun because my goal is to front run the smart money, the big money. Now, it's my belief that the governments, Wall Street, and the central banks pick winners and losers to the best of their ability. Doesn't really matter what we like or what we think. We're not going to move a market. So when they put their money behind a project, I want to be in that project. And guys, they are putting their money into Cypherium in a big way. And that's what we're going to talk about. Now, we're going to talk about three main tokens: Tezos, a metaverse play that is called Klaytn, and of course Cypherium. And we're going to look at all three of those charts. So stay with me. But before we dive into that, I'm going to give you a little bit more information and touch base on the other tokens that are involved with China, directly or indirectly. Now, none of this is going to pump the token long term, but it sets the roadmap so we can understand what's going on. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about. Now, it's my opinion that, guys, it's important to ask questions when you invest. Quite frankly, I find it odd how nonchalant the crypto community is when it comes to asking hard questions. There's so much tribalism and hype, and people just want to find the information where they want to hear. Well, I'm not used to that. You know, I used to work for Bear Stearns and I used to be a currency trader. Man, we ask the hard questions. We don't want to hear any hype. We want to hear, hit me with all the bad bullets, right? Let me figure out what's going on so I'll know. That's not the case in crypto. Well, I'm going to change that because I'm going to ask the hard questions, and it leads you in a much better place where you'll know how to invest better and you can sleep at night. Now, none of this financial advice, but I just did a video where I asked the hard question, and it was, what's going to happen, especially when Ripple goes public and they decide to create a new token to compete with XRP and use it for cross-border payments and ODL and CBDCs or whatever they decide. Well, that created a lot of comments, and I really appreciate how my community is growing because I like really intelligent people. I want to grow a community where we all get the best of the knowledge that's out there. It's not about hate. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about an understanding of what we're dealing with. This is my money, and I can't be more serious about anything outside of my money. I'm very serious, and you should be too. And you should want to listen to people that do critical thinking. Now, I'll leave a link down below to that XRP video if you want to know my thoughts. Now, in the comments section, which kicked all this off, one of the subscribers said, Ray, that's not the best play, talking about Ripple XRP, which is neither here nor there. He said, you know what the best play is. It's the token that's in bed with the US government, China, France, the Netherlands, and a couple of other countries. And that got me thinking, and it sent me down about a 5-hour rabbit hole, just so you know. But the only thing that came to my mind was Cypherium. Now, he honestly hasn't answered back, but I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure it's Cypherium. because of the Fed Now project. Well, when I started going down the rabbit hole, now I understand the connection between like the Fed, Wall Street, China, and a lot of other countries. And obviously that is linked to the central banks because they tell them, you know, when to print money or what to do with interest rates, etc. Now, that led me to the blockchain-based service network, BSN. That is China's blockchain. Now, the reason I missed this is because I truly believe from my background that the governments, Wall Street, and the banks, they basically pick winners and losers, and I want to front run wherever they're putting their money. But I haven't looked at China because I know they banned Bitcoin, and I thought they were going to get into crypto but have a closed loop system. So they weren't going to be a big influence on the future of crypto. Well, I was wrong. Now, this is not financial advice, and guys, please give me some input if you have a better understanding about what China's up to. But anyway, once I started looking into BSN, that led me to a lot of different articles. Now, in those articles, they made it very clear that they have already partnered with Cypherium. And actually, the way they put it was Cypherium is our blockchain portal to the world. For whatever that's worth, that got my attention. Now, before we dive into this, for the life of me, I can't understand why our federal government would have chose Cypherium for the FedNow program. I don't trust China. I can't even comprehend us having interoperability with them when it comes to the Fed. But guys, if you really think about it, just like what's going on in the universities, what's going on like in basketball, China pretty much owns America. And that's why I don't worry about the BRICS nation or any of that craziness. Guys, China can't do but so much damage to us because we owe them so much money. And if they stopped us from printing money, for example, we can't pay them back. So they understand the game. And even though they are not on our side, they want to take advantage of us and they want us to pay them. So it's kind of a, catch-22. But as far as like BRICS and the US dollar losing its world currency status, that's not going to happen for a long, long time. Probably when China's ready to go ahead and go to the #1 spot, maybe even create a war. I don't know. Getting off topic. But anyway, as it sits right now, whether I like it or not, if China or the U.S. government or Wall Street or BlackRock or Google, whoever, if they want to invest in crypto, I want to front run that because they move the markets. We don't. It doesn't matter what we like. I actually like what they like because I look at it as the best investment, not the best technology, not the best anything. What's the best risk reward investment for me to capitalize on this amazing opportunity that's coming down the pipe in the next couple of years? Now, when I was reading all these articles, they talked about Tezos, they talked about Cypherium, and it brought up a metaverse that they're pushing in China, Singapore, all over the world. I had never heard of it. It's called Klaytn, and we're going to talk about that. And it trades under KLAY. Now, we're going to take a look at that in a second, but they talked about that they're already in a partnership with Tezos. That kind of threw me off a little bit. Now, I was a little shocked when FTX was collapsing and Tezos started throwing around the rumors that they might step in and bail them out. I was like, man, Tezos doesn't have that kind of ability, do they? Well, guys, they may have the Chinese government behind them. Now, I can't verify all that, but I can verify that there is a big partnership between the Chinese government and Tezos, and they've onboarded a lot of people. Now, in the articles, they talked about Cosmos, and they love the SDK interoperability setup. The same with Polkadot. Obviously, they talked about the Ethereum Alliance. They talked about EOS, which caught me off guard. But the biggest, and Algorand, the biggest thing that I wasn't aware of, which I've been following very closely, everything JP Morgan does. Because whether you like it or not, there's only a handful of players that are really the movers and shakers, like IBM, JP Morgan, Accenture, BlackRock. They're the movers and shakers, some of the banks. But anyway, China literally talks about how their first movement into blockchain was to collaborate with like JP Morgan with Consensus and Quorum, which obviously is JP Morgan's, private blockchain, and JP Morgan is highly invested in those projects. Well, and that's fine. I don't like it, but that's fine. Now, then guess what they talked about? And this is what pertains to all of the ISO 222 compliant tokens, the Hyperledger and like the Ethereum Alliance. Now, I'm not going to dive into the Hyperledger, but if you haven't looked at their website and you don't understand the power players that are involved with the Hyperledger, you need to go there and check it out. It's the who's who of the world, from Microsoft to Google, Accenture, IBM, Stellar, XRP, Quant, Algorand, Casper, you name it, guys, all of 100% of the ISO 222 compliant tokens. It's the who's who of the world. So whether I mention these tokens or not, if they're ISO 222 compliant, guys, this is a big deal, especially when you look at the big picture of what's coming down the pipe and what are the opportunities. That's the way I see it anyway. Now, let's take a look at Tezos. If you're not familiar with Tezos, go to Tezos.com. Guys, I'm not a developer, but I know developers that speak very highly of how it has great security and it's interoperable, it's scalable, it's really high tech. Now, while I'm thinking about it, China is going to have a closed loop ecosystem for blockchain, and then the rest of it for the world, and have interoperability somehow controlled in between that. It's kind of like how China has TikTok for China, which is very conservative and has a lot of rules. Then it has TikTok for the rest of the world, where they can get in the minds of our kids. But that's a whole another topic. But anyway, guys, Tezos is a powerhouse, especially now that I understand the big picture, that they are already knee-deep in what China's trying to push out. Quite frankly, guys, this is all terrifying of China being in control. I mean, they own the U.S. government, and now they're part of the Fed now, for the most part, directly or indirectly. I'm fearful of what's happened, what the world's going to look like in 25 years, but hopefully we're all going to capitalize and it doesn't matter. Now, when you look at the chart, guys, this gets me excited. Now, I'm not going to run in. I can't recommend running into Tezos right now, but check this out. It's well under $1, pretty much trading at the bull market low. That's what you want, 70 cents. This thing has been over $9. That's a big, big move. That's what, 12x, maybe a 15x to take out its old high. Guys, put this on your list to follow. I'm not recommending, well, first of all, I'm not recommending any of these, not financial advice, but keep that on your list to watch. Now, they mentioned Klaytn which I had never even heard of, but it's a metaverse project. And it's a big project from what I can tell. And the information that I got, guys, they're spreading this out. China's using it, Japan's using it, Taiwan, Singapore. I mean, they're pushing it all over the globe. So they're definitely behind it. Take a look at it. But now this is pretty cool. Look at these numbers. This, it kind of excites me. If nothing else, probably going to stack a small bag that I can afford to lose no matter what. Because look at that. You're at, what, 15, 14, 15 cents. And guys, this thing has ran over, what is that? Let's see here. Over $4. I think that's what, 25, 28x to take out its old high. You might want to look at Klaytn, KLAY. Now, let's get into the good stuff. Cypherium. Guys, I got to tell you, I do a lot of research, and I kind of, have different projects that become my favorite for whatever reason. I think it's because in the back of my mind, I start thinking about the real opportunity. But I'm not going to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum. Guys, that's where my big money goes. I think that's the safest. And I compare everything to that, just so you know. Why would I want to invest anything if it can't do way above Bitcoin and Ethereum? And for Ethereum, in my opinion, guys, we're looking at a minimum 15, 20x in the next bull run, in my opinion. So if you can't do that, I don't know if it's worth messing with. That's just my opinion. But now, if you're not familiar with Cypherium, guys, obviously it's great tech. The federal government vested it. I mean, it is good tech. It is set up for scalability, CBDCs, DeFi, Web3. It's ready to rock and roll. It's a very, very sound project. Now, when you look at the chart, it's 1,037. Guys, this is probably a top 10 project. Definitely a top 50 whenever we get regulation and everything starts to move in, we start to have DeFi, whatever that looks like. We're getting the banking reset, whatever that looks like. We get regulation. When all that starts to happen, Cypherium, I think really, seriously, I can't imagine it not being the top 100, but it could easily move to the top 50 and a top 10 project. Now, bear with me, we're almost done. We're going to take a look at the chart, and I want to just touch base on the tokenomics real quick because it does matter. Now, right now, it's trading at about, 3 cents. But I like these lows because I think everything's going to go lower. So it's been at a penny, guys. It's been at a penny. And to take out its old high, that's 95 cents. So let's just say $1. Check out that. That is 100 plus X. Easily to take out its old high. Did I read that right? Is that right? Hold on, bear with me. Okay, guys, I'm wrong. Bear with me. Man, I thought I was like, damn, that's a big number. No, guys, its old high was almost a dime. Oh, that's about a 10x if we pick it up at a penny. Anyway, still good numbers, and I really think that once everything gets going, that, this project could easily 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x in the next bull run. That's just my personal opinion. Now, when we talk about the tokenomics, that's kind of the only thing that I don't like. Now, that being said, it's hard to get a lot of the information. I couldn't really get the information, and the information I got at two or three different places had, different numbers. But for the most part, the maximum supply is 8.4 billion. Guys, that's not bad. The total supply is 6.8. Not exactly sure where that's at, though. but the circulating supply is only 540 million. So guys, the inflation rate could be massive, but that will not matter in the next bull run, but it definitely matters now in a bear market, which is kind of good news because that's probably going to keep the price down and allow people like me, not financial advice, to stack more Cypherium, because I'm definitely going to stack some Cypherium. I'm probably going to have two different bags. One that I just set aside and check back in like 10 years, don't even look at it. And then one that I can stack in this bull run and sell that, excuse me, that I can stack in the bear run, which is now, and dollar cost average out in the next bull run. That's kind of my plan. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. This is some positive news. And stay with me as a subscriber, because we're going to ask the hard questions in 2023. And I got a lot of them, and they don't just pertain to Ripple. I mean, I don't understand anyone that doesn't want to ask the tough questions and get the answers. It blows me away. My biggest, pet peeve is I ask the questions and I can't get the answer. And it's kind of ironic that some of the people that make comments tell me that I haven't done my homework. Well, guys, hit me with those bullets. They never respond with factual information. But guys, I don't just read the headlines. I go all the way down the rabbit hole till it pretty much stops, and I try to get it as close to the source as possible. Now, the point I was making is I did a video a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago, about how many papers, which is 3, that Harvard wrote about XRP. Well, in that paper, EOS came up, and in the research with China, the papers talked about EOS. So that's one to watch, and stay tuned. We're going to, dive back into EOS, because I do know from what I've already done on EOS, it's a powerhouse, some of the best tech out there, period. But they had a rug pull, and they're going to have to get past that. Now, it's been changed, different foundation, all different people involved, but it still has that stigma, but the tech is still there. And I've talked to like 3 developers. Guys, they don't say anything bad about EOS. They absolutely love it, but they didn't appreciate the rug pull that happened like 3 years ago or whenever it was. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. If you appreciate this kind of content, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification so you get everything in a timely manner, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about Cypherium? One other question. Which is the best ISO 222 compliant token if you only had to pick one? I'll be honest, guys, it's one of the hardest questions out there. I really don't know my answer, but I can pick 2 or 3 or 5. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and come back and be part of this community. Take care.